T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Stop!
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods. Drive not get the most, not the lesser. Straight terror, product of your errors. Pushing culture, baby, got that product you can measure. Trendsetter. I say, yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy. Fresh start time, fresh new mind. Free on the inside, free on the outside. Why you worry when you know that he gon' make a way? I done seen him make a blessing like 100 ways. Everybody got a time, a dog gon' have a day. Only running to the Lord, I never run away. Curving him, demons try to get me, but I'm swerving him. Circle him, target in my flesh, I had to murder him. Satan only come to steal your joy just like a burglar. Smirking him, I know he got it covered like a pergola. Yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy.
At the same, both at the same time. I wasn't expecting that. All right, cool.
Listen, bro, I was gonna let you have the first word today, bro.
Golly.
Say what's up to the people, man. Go ahead, do the thing, man. Do the intro thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another wonderful episode of Maybe This Will Help, the podcast. Heavy on the maybe. If you're joining us for the first time, this is something me and my brother Donnie get together and do every Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's basically, the show was set up as barbershop talk. Like, you know how your husband or your significant other, they go to the barbershop and they talk to all the fellas about what went on during the week, things that they may be struggling with, things that they've encountered. So basically, our brother Kerry, who started the show, took that idea and translated it into a podcast. So here we are, still trying to maintain the mantle that we've been tasked, that we believe been tasked by God to do, because it's something that we don't do for money. We do it for free as of right now. And I feel like it definitely has helped me. I could speak for my brother Donnie and say it's helped him as well. And, you know, we hope it has helped y'all as well.
Listen, heavy on the maybe.
Heavy, because maybe it doesn't. Maybe it triggers you.
Listen, maybe, hopefully, we ain't sure what the title should be, but we just want you to know there's no guarantees anything positive is coming from. I'm kidding, bro. We've been, I mean, all jokes aside, we've been consecutively receiving feedback from people saying this has blessed them, this has helped them, this has given them much needed insight to go into some self-reflection. So I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that IG already kicked us off, but I'm already back on because I already knew what was going to happen. So
nice. I feel like they only kick you off once. They kick me off every time I try to restart. It's like, nope.
Serious?
I mean, listen, we can give it a shot.
It is. You know? It is what it is, man.
It is what the hell it is.
Every single time.
Every time. But we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
It's all good. You want to do it? I try to get this new code.
Yeah, go ahead. Send it to me. I'm gonna talk to the people and get it set up for tonight. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Maybe this will help the podcast, giving you the good, the bad, the alimony, relationship talk you can relate to. if you've been there for the first, if this is your first time, what we do is grab videos and post from online and just have a discussion. Like Mike said, it's just like barbershop talk. We just letting y'all in to what it sounds like, two guys who ain't got it figured out. Just want to have a fun conversation about stuff we've been seeing online in hopes that maybe it'll help.
In hopes. And another thing is we don't ever come on the show trying to give advice. We just pretty much give our stance and our viewpoint on things that have either worked for us or haven't worked for us, or our specific views on certain topics.
And sometimes advice might slip in there.
It's not. That's what the maybe comes in. That's what the maybe comes in. That's what the maybe.
Yeah, listen, because I don't want nobody suing me off advice they received off this podcast. Listen, it may not work for you. So
maybe not. Maybe not.
It ain't for everybody. Anyway, what was the highlight of your week, brother?
Oh shoot. My usual flag football team that I'm coaching. We got another dub, 50-0. So
good. Hey, that should be illegal, bro. Yeah,
we before was 24-0. So we in a good place right now.
Were these kids older than you? Older than your boys again?
No. Okay. They're about the same age.
What is going on, man?
Hey, good coaching. That's all I can.
Okay.
I'm not doing talent at all. It's just the coaching.
It's always good coaching. I put the new code in, so go live on your IG.
All right.
Man, all right.
That was mine.
Dude, highlight of my week, man. I got invited to this closed event called the Humanizers. And
I was about to say, Diddy is in jail, so I was just wondering what kind of closed event.
In his honor, we're carrying on something called. I'm just kidding. Yeah, man. I got to fix my brain. Don't make me go down that path tonight, Mike. Do not.
We're back.
Why is it so easy though? That's my brain. I got to get that saved. But it's a dope event, right? So people from any kind of walks and backgrounds, whatnot. So the host invited like 8 people out, and we got there and we just had discussion, like old school philosophers. We just explore ideas. The 2 key points was about connection and respect. Okay. We wanted to have conversations to connect, but she only invited certain people that she felt like they were good humans, and that they knew how to carry conversation respectfully, hear other people's point of view, and that their the true heart's desire was to explore, not to try to convince somebody, not to jump to a quick conclusion, not to be, know how to, emotionally regulate themselves and stuff. It was a pleasant experience for about 2 hours. But the highlight of it all was that when she invited me, she said, I want to close the night out with some masculine energy. So could you read a poem? And when I heard read a poem, when she said read a poem, I heard write a poem. So I haven't written a poem in years, bro. And so I wrote a poem that perfectly tied into the night with the topics we discussed, because I did the poem at the end. And so I think that I'm in a space now. I'm about to start writing again, because it was. I'll share it with you after the show. It was it was a good portion of my life just putting poetry. So
that's dope.
Yeah, man.
That's dope. And it's always good when you can, because I know you're a creative mind, as am I. And I know it's always good when you can be around other creatives and kind of, you know what I mean, get those vibes going, because on a day-to-day basis, a lot of times as creatives, we have to find a way to insert our creativity on day-to-day. So it's nice to where you just go into an environment and it's all around you. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's curated like that, she did a great job of selecting who could be there. I only knew her and one other person there, so the other people were new and just vibe, bro. Just vibed. So
that's dope.
So that kind of set me off to, like, it gave me a good headspace to be in for even for tonight. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that affects tonight's conversation. Shit. So I know, man. Just listen, bro. Let's just
it's off the cuff. I get it.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start the show. If you haven't yet, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite drink, and grab your favorite friend. We're about to get into the show just like this.
Everybody here believe that we are what our partners really like?
No.
Okay.
I think I got some of it.
My slider is at least 76 or something.
Depending on which slider. Yeah, that's it.
Are we adding personality into the slider?
Whatever you want.
What do you think you are?
I know what she likes. And it ain't me.
Really?
Hell no, it ain't
I
me.
joke with my girl like I get a kick out of this shit.
I'm beautiful.
Wait.
though.
How much of what she like you got?
That's the slider number.
Oh.
Give us
That's
a
the
number.
slider.
My
nigga.
height don't start with a 5.
You said what? Wait, what'd you say? Your height don't start with a 5.
Yeah, a doctor was here. Did it. We the same height. You just keep wearing McQueens.
So where you at?
I'm going to go 81.
What's the question?
As
What
far
number
as
are you
all
on
the
the
things
slider?
that your girl looks for, where do you think you rank from 0 to 100?
Damn, I don't know. 80.
That's safe. That's like the Kevin Samuel 7.
85. I know what the hair. I ain't. I'm probably 82.
That might be good 76. Maybe 76, 77.
Do everybody
You already know.
Yeah.
How close are you to what Jay wanted, or is she just out on a limb?
I'm
Nigga.
it surprised me because
Jay.
I was gonna say 80. She hit you with 100. I think
All right.
no, I'll speak from what I thought she was gonna say. I would have said 80 because when we first met, I had a lot of trauma, a lot of
Gotcha.
like I was lying, I wasn't faithful, like it was a lot of stuff going on with me when we first met that I'm sure. Huh? No. Oh, she said now it's 100. But then when we first met though.
Oh.
But what would you have rated me when we first met? Like after you started finding out certain things.
Oh, he was much lower.
Oh, she said I was much lower.
10%, nigga. Got
You're right.
tithe and offering. So this was charity that turned out.
Nigga, right? You learn something new every day. Sheesh. Who needs marriage counseling at this point? Yeah.
Y'all got the honesty thing down packed.
100%. But no, so I think, like I said, when we first initially started dating and got together, I think I was much lower, but through time and therapy and just communication, I think that stock has gone up.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I took a moment to kind of think back about some past relationships. And I think I've shared this on the podcast before that I definitely wasn't the type of the girl that I was dating or got into relationships with. I wasn't necessarily their type. And it took them a while to adjust to, okay, I'm going to do this with you, but you definitely wasn't the type of guy I was expecting to do this with.
Is this something that is this something that you were told or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, because so it starts with you asking like the person you dating or whatnot of your relationship, like who's your celebrity crush, and then you see how far away from that person you are. You're like, so what kind of guys are you like? Were you into or kind of into, and you don't hear your characteristics come up anywhere, and you're like, so what you doing with me?
Right. Well, how did I make the cut?
Faith, stepping out on faith.
Hey, but see, I feel like that can be a good thing if I'm so far away from what you're used to and you still chose to be over here. It must be something great over here that maybe you ain't tapped into yet.
You so optimistic.
I try to be.
And it's a thin line between optimism and delusion.
And I operate in both at times.
Listen,
so
whatever's gonna get me through the day. Honestly.
Right.
So I mean, to be honestly though, I love the guys on that podcast. They're just saying like, yo, they're married to these women. Like, I know that I'm not what she was looking for, like 100%, like I'm 80% of it, 70% of it. And so I wonder if that is something that really weighs on people. Like if you don't pick your type, does your person just over time become your type, or do you always have that on the background of your mind, but you just okay because you committed to your choice?
Oh, I am a believer that the person that you choose, even if they're not your type initially, that they can become your type. I do believe that. It's happened to me. Like, I wasn't like, I didn't really care for this part of you initially, but getting to know you more and understanding why you are the way you are, now it's like, okay, I can dig that. I can deal with that.
So I'm listening to the other guys, talking and looking at a guy that is overweight, you know what I'm saying, or bald, and he's like, yeah, but that's my lady's into men who are in shape and have hair, right? You know what I'm saying to you. And I think that when we talk on this podcast about insecurities, I wonder if you know that you're not really your girl's type or your man's type. Do you subconsciously punish them in the relationship because you feel like they might step out on you because you feel some type of way about not being what they ideally were looking for?
I can't answer that because, as you know, I feel like I'm everyone's. No, not for real. No, but
tell the truth.
I will not say that. I will not.
Listen, you said it before. I can go back and find the.
No, but I feel like there's beauty in the fact when I know. Just nigga, I know that I'm not her type, but I'm okay with that. It's beauty in being okay with knowing that you're not your woman's type, and y'all can still get along. Y'all can still have this great relationship. I just know I'm not what you normally go for, but you chose me anyway. So now I'm even more appreciative, and I'm not looking at it as a negative.
Are you on the ballot for this year?
This nigga,
you are talking like a politician, my guy.
I'm just saying, damn it.
I'm appreciative. Like she did you a favor.
Sometimes, yeah.
That's a rough spot to be in. We've talked about this, but it's been a while since we talked about this. Like,
we have,
and we've said that don't do me no favors because then the dynamic of the connection can sometimes be like. Remember we talked about it. We said that in every relationship, there's the reacher and there's the settler. Somebody's reaching outside of their league and somebody is settling below, their league, and so. I guess you can make it work, but I wonder what those dynamics are if you are forever trying to prove yourself to this person or thank this person for choosing you. It can get tricky. So talk to me about it.
I feel like that's perspective, and I feel like with perspective comes choice. Meaning, I can choose to look at it that way, or I can choose to look at it like I said, like, man, I must got something going on. If she's leaving her what she regularly go for, and want to be with me, it got to be something about me that's great. So I'm gonna choose to go with that instead of choosing to go with, well, I wonder if she's gonna step out because I don't got muscles, or because I don't got hair, or because I'm too skinny, or whatever the case may be.
Did you go to an ashram or to a retreat? A Buddhist retreat or something this past weekend or something? You sound real different tonight. What?
No, but in my therapy, so you on to something. Yeah.
You on to something. Brother, I'm listening to you. This brother is unshaken.
Fucking wedding bells have rattled my brain is what it is.
Got you settled. Okay. All right. Mike sounding real different these days. I like it. All right. So let's flip the script. Have you ever dated someone that was totally out of your idea of who you saw yourself with?
Honestly,
have you ever done somebody a favor? Is what I'm saying.
And this is an honest answer, so I don't need your back talk.
Oh, it's
an honest answer. Just let me answer the question.
All right.
I don't have a type, so it's hard to. This nigga. I don't have a specific type to say, oh, this is not what I usually go for. Because if you line up anybody that I've actually been with and been serious about, don't nobody look the same, don't nobody act the same, don't nobody do nothing the same. They're all different. Nationalities, everything.
Vote for Mike 2024. That's all I'm saying. Gee whiz. All right. So how do you choose then? What is the thing that makes you say, I'm gonna give you a shot?
Personality.
Okay, so you've never dated somebody with a personality.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm about to ask a question. Have you ever dated someone? I did start it with you never. That's wrong. Have you ever dated someone who didn't have a personality that you were like into, but you still gave them a shot?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the way they looked.
Okay.
It was pure like lust though. It wasn't like I want to get to know you. I could care less.
But let's talk about that though. I mean, because I think a lot of people throw that word around a lot, lust. Yeah. But could it have just been attraction, or was it like just low down dirty lust? I just want to do dirty things with you. And okay, yeah, cool. All right, so we got to the bottom of that fairly quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what the chat is saying.
Wait, let's aim that question back at you though.
Huh? Huh?
Because I feel like everybody you've ever been with is probably watching the show. All 18 viewers right now are all people that you dated at some point in time. So your answer has got to be strategic as hell.
No, it don't. I skipped the retreat.
Boy.
Jesus, you know. What was the question? Have I ever
dated someone
in my bald-headed life?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I just be out here in a mood and just going for stuff.
No, but I feel that though. Like today, I feel like this. Next week, I may feel like this. So you saying you like to date like buffet style?
I like to experiment. I might try something that I never thought I would, just because in the moment I feel a connection. I'm like, that might be interesting.
Yep.
Which is also remember I used to have that 3-month rule where I would only date for 3 months. And
Used to?
Huh?
Used to?
Yeah.
Past tense.
Yeah.
Not present.
I'm not even on the market.
My nigga. It's so crazy. I used to like to hear you say you were on the market, but now the fact that you're okay with not being, that's great. Good for you.
Listen, I'm telling you, bro, I'll finish that thought, but it's something you said last week about just being in the gym and I just be looking around and stuff like that. And I thought about that this week, and I recognize that I walk around now like I'm nobody's type. I walk around with this idea that people don't even see me. And I don't know when I slipped into that, but it's a great place to be in. I think it might be part of my healing. It might be part of the season I'm transforming or whatnot. But there's no apprehension when I'm in different spaces and there's women, attractive women or whatnot. I just internally feel like I'm not anybody's type and they don't see me. So I'm just moving through like butter.
I like it. But back to your thought about all these women that you gave handouts to.
I've done some favors because
Why?
Because I didn't know if I was right in the ideal that I created in my head. I wasn't sure if that was what was best for me. So I didn't want to be stuck in that space that this is what I want. This is what I believe that I need. It was always that room for error in my own idolization of what my partner needs to look like and be like, that I just left some room open for, this wows me, so let me try it. And so the 3-month rule was that we would date for 3 months, right? At the end of 3 months, we had to make a decision. We have a check-in. And the 3 month, you come to that check-in, you have this deep conversation about how things are going. We have to make a decision in 3 months. Either we're going to step back into being just friends or strangers. We're going to move forward into an exclusive relationship, or we're going to give it another 3 months. But the purpose of that 3-month rule is because I had heard so many people be like, I've been dating this person for 5-6 years and I don't know what we're doing and whatnot. That's because you won't stop and say, hey, let's have you ever heard that define the relationship conversation? Yeah, like so I set it up from the gate. It's like, okay, at 3 months, we're going to define this. And you know what it does? I think that if you have that intention from the gate, people are less likely to be absent while they're dating you. They're more likely to be intentional. Like, we're only going to do this for 3 months. So, let's give it a shot. And in 3 months, you get to see a little bit of them, and you get to see as much as them as they're intentionally showing you or as you're intentionally seeking it. And I feel like, it's not something that I feel like is fail proof. But I feel like it's a good intention that worked for me to identify some things, and stay intentional and stay accountable to my intention.
Yeah. So would you say that you've had more positive outcomes than negative outcomes with that rule of thumb, or?
I don't think I've ever.
Dating.
I was about to say I don't think I've ever qualified them as negative or positive. Okay. How would I though? Because I'm open to it. Yeah. What would you say would be a negative outcome?
I honestly, I can't because it didn't end up as we became a thing, or we got together, or we got married, or we became boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever the case may be. Just because it didn't go down that route doesn't necessarily mean it was negative. It just mean that it just wasn't meant to be. So I guess it couldn't be negative.
And that's what I'm saying, though, bro. I think we sometimes begin dating somebody like it's a guarantee it's going to end up in marriage because you like them. But the whole point of dating is to verify if the idea in your mind matches who the person is really showing themselves to be. You know what I'm saying to you? But sometimes we get so caught up in the idea in our mind that we ignore what they're showing us, and we're like, one way or another, you're going to become what I envision you in my head, and I'm going to ignore what you're showing me. And at some point, you gotta look at who the person wants to be, not who you want them to be.
No, yeah, I agree with that. Let me ask you this about that rule of thumb with the 3 months. Do you feel like that may take out some of the organic, natural flow of things? If now I'm switching on to, oh my God, I only got 3 months.
Yeah,
I got to pack all of this into 3 months.
I think that, see, and this is how it can, because if that's how you feel, then you should be honest from the gate and say, I don't do that. I don't flow like that. Nobody got a gun to your head saying you got to do it. This is my proposal.
Yep.
Right. I'm not forcing you to do it. You know what I'm saying? But because this is my flow, it doesn't mean that it's your flow. And if it ain't your flow, then don't force yourself to try to flow with it, because it ain't your flow, and it ain't going to flow, and it's going to show in our the dynamic. What's the word? That was a
hope it's dynamic.
I hope it was too.
Yes,
nigga. That's all, folks.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is not to be misconstrued as an ultimatum, because I think a lot of people will try to weaponize this 3 months. I can see it, how instead of it being, this is my thing, this is what I do, it could become more of a ultimatum. You got 3 months to figure this shit out. And it's not supposed to be that.
And like I said, at the end of the 3 months, you got 3 choices. Either we like, nah, this ain't working for us, let's not do this anymore. Or I love this, I'm really feeling you, let's make this exclusive and take some serious consideration of where we're going to next. Or, you know what, I'm not sure, let's give it 3 more months. Yeah. It's always an option. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that there is I think what helps people to walk in their authenticity is accountability from the person that they're dating. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's sometimes what causes people to have these internal conflicts of showing up with their, representative or these other things that we call it, because we're not sure where's the accountability for this person in this space. I like them, but I don't know them. So there's this apprehension. And so when this is your first plan together, you know what I'm saying? Somebody be like, no, I can't do 3 months, but we can do 6 though. Mm-hmm. And I have to consider if I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is kind of off, well, not really off topic, but you just mentioned the representative, and it got me thinking, like, everything that is one way today and a different day tomorrow doesn't necessarily mean representative. It could just possibly mean I'm in a different space. Yeah, I was like this month, but something happened that has either altered my thinking, altered the way I move, or something that's caused me to change. Not necessarily like this was my representative, but I'm just not that guy now.
Dude, people change every day. You know what I'm saying? Potentially, and sometimes in a very dramatic way. And I think that before we call it somebody's representative, it might just be another part of their personality that you're seeing in a new season that they shifted into. Yeah.
Brittany has a question. She says, so no sex during the first 3 months, or?
Listen, you can customize this thing to however you want to, but for me, I was during that time practicing abstinence. So for me, it was no sex till marriage.
I just feel like without sex, things become so much clearer. You know what I mean? That sex can sometimes cloud because the sex is good. So now I'm choosing not to see certain things. I'm choosing to call these red flags orange, or, things like that, because the sex is just like, I don't want to fuck this up.
Let me add a little something to that, though.
Yeah, please do.
No sex while you're dating only works for people who've practiced self-control, because no sex and semen retention can send you crazy. It can have you acting out of character in a very aggressive way. So, that's something that you still have, because you're going to have urges, especially if somebody's like mentally, you have mental chemistry with them, and and physically they're your type. If you don't have the strength of self-control, then that flesh is going to irritate you. And that might show up in your conversation with that person. You might show up getting mad at them because you want to do things with them, but you know you can't. And so now, you know, they're like, damn, what's wrong? What's up with all this aggression? Like, what's going on with you? You know, so abstinence is good, but you gotta develop that self-control.
And you gotta be realistic with yourself.
Yeah.
Like set realistic goals. Like, yeah.
You know, and I was in a relationship once. She was like, yeah, we can't be in your house together alone, you know, after the sun sets.
Yeah, if that's what you need to.
But I didn't at the front, like, man, why you tripping? Like, don't even. But you know what I'm saying? But listen, though, bro, I had to remind myself that I've been exposed to so much that there's environments and rooms I can be in and not
feel nothing,
not feel a thing, right? Because of, you know, seeing so many naked bodies my entire life, being a stripper, like, you know, just being a model. Like, I've seen so much that don't bother me. But some people who have been exposed to that, you know what I'm saying, the slightest bulge, you know what I'm saying, could send them down a whirlwind. So to thine own self be true.
Got to. Damn it, you got to.
All right.
Listen,
so I got an idea, right? So I went in my journal and I looked. I think I wrote this in 2014. Like
diary.
Sure, Mike. What's the difference between a diary and a journal? Go ahead.
One is for women.
All right. So if there's any women out there with a journal.
Oh man,
Mike. All right. So
yep.
I wrote like a 2.5 page description of just characteristics of what I want my woman to look like. You know, the list. You know what I'm saying to you? And so moving forward, you know what I'm saying? I got rid of it for a point. Now I went and looked back at it and I was like, ooh, I like this. I still like that list.
Oh, good. It's like, that's good. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? So, but I you know, once I'm, you know, in a space and, you know, out of this reservation spot, I'm wondering if that's going to be, you know what I'm saying, my verifier, if that's going to be like, because I told you, man, I'm 44 now, right? I thought I needed a wife when I was in my 20s to do a lot of the things. There you go again.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Every time I say my age, this nigga.
It's an accident. Apologize. I apologize.
Listen, bro. And so, you know what I'm saying? I put myself in a situation to consider, you know what I'm saying, where I'm going to be at and what do I want? And I don't necessarily want that to be my guide, my verifier. I want to still stay open, but because I've gotten older, I have to revisit why I believe I want a wife, because my reasoning for when I wanted one when I was a teenager and in my 20s, I'm 44 now. So it's like I've gotten through a good hard chunk of life, you know what I'm saying, absent a partner and children. So, you know, not only do I have to verify my capacity, you know what I'm saying, I'm an entrepreneur now with a regular job and I got a lot of stuff going on. Like, what do I want to bring it to? Do I want to bring in, you know, I'm gonna say it to you like this, bro. I told my mom this yesterday. Whatever you acquire requires maintenance. And so if I do get a wife and I do get children, they need to be maintained a certain way. What's my capacity like? What's my time like? You know what I'm saying? This is why certain people, when they get older, like, now I'm good on the kids, because it requires a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a businessman and you do a regular job thing, like wives, you know, relationships require attention and time to invest in that thing, right? So you got to really consider not just what you want, but what you have the capacity and the means to maintain.
So that makes me think. So then it's because I've heard a lot of people say that marriage isn't for everyone, but then if we go biblical, then man should not be alone. Like, what do we do with that?
What you mean?
Well, if biblically we're supposed to be married, but then we're hearing, you know, that marriage isn't for anyone, that's two contradicting things.
So I'm wondering if that it's not good that man should be alone is a mandate for every man to get married.
Okay.
I'm wondering it is, because there's some people, I guess, is mentioned in the Bible that have the gift of singleness. There's also exhortation from one of the disciples to tell people stay single, because if you get married, then your devotion is going to be divided between your Lord and your spouse. You know what I'm saying? So there is some encouragement. He says that it's not from God, that's from me. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm wondering, you know what I'm saying to you, because some people are married and they lose their spouse in their first year. You know what I'm saying? Now they're a widow or whatnot. Do they remarry, or was that their shot and they just enjoy it for what it is? Like, I don't think for me, I don't recall myself being exposed to a hard line that everybody should be married.
Yeah. I did that. Yep.
Let's see. Queen Lady T, I appreciate it. Thank you because Mike is just rude. Pook said, listen, I learned in this season to be 100% honest with myself on all things regarding a relationship. Certain things sound great, and I can only fool myself for so long. These men have to have a certain look internally or externally to keep my attention. Otherwise, I will completely disconnect.
Oh, we know.
Be honest with yourself. Listen, if I don't keep a certain look, I get disconnected from me.
Man,
so
man, I don't want to look in the mirror.
Listen, exactly. What we got here? Queen Lady T Paulo says sometimes people use good sex to move forward with relationships, but I feel like that will fade anyway when their actions don't match up to what they're looking for in a long-term relationship.
1,000%.
Straight up, because what are you trying to build, right? If you just, you know, like I remember one of my mentors, like, just be straight, man. If you need a nut, you need a nut. But
because some people are okay with that.
A nut and a wife are not the same need.
1,000%. 1,000%. And that's what I tell people even these days. Like, if that's what you need from a woman and that's all you want, there's plenty of women out here that are 1,000% okay with that. All right, just call me when you need something, or I'll call you when I need something. That's all we got to be. That's all we got to do. If that's all you need, but don't try to make I just want to get a nut off, like you just said, into a wife, because now you're trying to marry somebody because all you want to do is get a nut off. It's never gonna work. It's never going to work.
All right, Nutty Professor, you're going to get out here and get somebody hurt. You might get yourself hurt.
Oh, sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
Listen. You got to be careful, my brother. Or my sister.
Listen.
Mess around and find out. All right. God. So, I'm going to move on to the next video for tonight, man. You ready for it?
Let's do it.
All right.
She said, you've been naked, this all caps, 2 years on IG, and you still single. Sis, just get dressed. I got some thoughts. I feel like that thread was concern, love, and direction. So I just want to piggyback off that. You know, because a lot of us are showing a lot and not getting much in return. You know, so I don't know if it's going the way you thought it would. And even the exchange, right? So if likes and loves is the attention and what you want, how does it translate in real life? You know? Also, what type of guy are you attracting, right? Patterns should give us information. So in the dating project, we teach 4 pillars of attraction. One being perceived challenge, which is basically the idea that the value that you bring to a situation, the other person has to understand that it costs them something to get that value. So if you're giving things for free, the translation is not working in your favor. The cost being trust, the cost being time, the cost being intimacy, things that we want in lasting relationships. So keep it a little mysterious. Give them a chance to value the totality of you, sis, the total. She said, you've been naked, this all.
At first, I thought it was going to just be a joke, because initially it was funny as hell, but then she has some really key, like, real life shit in there.
Yeah, she did.
Damn. So you know anybody like that? What's her name?
You don't need to know. I'm with you. I'm with Carrie. Carrie said, why she throwing up gang signs? She was trying to get her point. People. So, you know, as I was, you know, heavy into photography, 2008 to 2000 and like, you know, 12, 17, something like that. So I do know a lot of women who are practically, you know what I'm saying, make it online. I took a lot of the pictures for them back in the day. Different reasons. Some because they're trying to be a brand ambassador for swimsuits or fitness wear or anything like that. Then some people who just do it because they didn't become pretty until later in life. So all the attention that they didn't get in grade school and high school because they didn't look the part, they were a late bloomer, and now they need to be affirmed by society. Well, now they believe they need to be affirmed by society in a certain way because they've now blossomed into what's trending or purchased what's trending. Yes, sir.
No, that's definitely something that I struggle with in my old age, which it was hence, I think part of that, if I'm being honest, was why I started the modeling thing, in which a lot of people that follow me see that I've kind of fallen back from it because, you know, you have to question your own motive sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, why am I really doing this? Am I doing this because I really want to be a model, or am I doing this, like you said, for those affirmations for people to make me feel a certain way? You know what I'm saying? 1,000%, right?
Mike, put a shirt on. I remember the first time I saw your nipples online. I was like, he's not going to be my brother anymore. Disown this nigga. Listen, old school. Where your shirt at? Why your nipples online, bro?
Oh, shit.
Out here looking like the nutty professor. Come on, man.
You're rude. Golly, you are rude. But no, it
nipples and navel. You got both of them things. A man's navel should never be exposed.
I don't even want you to say that word in front of me no more.
Belly button. Belly button. A grown man shouldn't have a belly button.
Oh shit!
Go ahead, bro.
Oh man! Don't go ahead, bro. Me.
Go ahead, bro. Tell us how you use modeling for baby oil. Tell us about it.
Oh shit! No, but it's important. It's important to really understand the whys behind why you're doing. Like she was talking about the chicks that basically are on. You know, everybody knows the IG models. Yeah. Like, is it? Because I remember me growing up, I thought IG models were just the girls that couldn't really get a modeling contract, and they just like showing ass.
Mike,
on IG.
Are you considered an IG model?
I feel like once you're signed to a contract, like a legally binding document, that kind of takes you out of, you know, that line of work. And I'm not saying it's anything negative, but I'm just saying check your whys into, like, are you going out for a swimsuit or are you just shaking ass?
So how has your why changed?
I think now it's that I've really gotten into fashion and I've really gotten into, you know, the whole modeling culture, which I really like a lot. It's not about, you know, oh, I hope that, you know, people like the way I look when I do this or wear this or you know, show up this way. At this point, it's like I like what I got on, so I'm finna put it out there. If you like it, cool. If you don't, cool. It don't make me know my woman like it, so
yeah,
you know,
it's so
to get comfortable in. You know what I mean?
We talked about that, I think, last week. It's just so different what happens with your effort once you find yourself in a happy relationship where you don't invest attention and effort anymore, because you like, I got a person. What's wild and diabolical is when you are in a healthy relationship, but you still looking for that. You still investing and looking for that attention from the outside.
And that was also me, being honest. I mean, most of the long-term viewers already know what it is, but it's different when you finally get comfortable in only needing the attention from one person. And, you know, it like I said, through therapy and, you know, our open conversations, it's definitely gotten to the point where it's a lot easier. Before it was like almost a need. Like I need, like I hear you saying that I look good, but I need at least 40 other people to tell me for me to actually believe it.
And that number just grows and grows.
It does. It does. It gets crazy out here.
Yeah, man. What was our man? So if I go back to this video about get dressed, in all, I guess, seriousness, with all jokes aside, it can be damaging to your ego, to your identity, your internal wiring, to really be dependent on community or society to affirm you in certain ways. I do think that is, if you have a trusted circle whose opinion about you can trust, whose view of you is pure and sincere, I do believe that can be healthy. But when it's strangers, and you get built up on what strangers say, if the strangers is having a rough day and they don't feel like liking you that day, they can tear everything down that they built up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that it's just not a trustworthy foundation to build your identity on, or your confidence on.
It's so not. And I think a part of my maturity has come with me now asking her, like, certain pictures, whether it's a shirt off picture, whether it's a picture or a video of me at the gym, I always run it by her. Is this cool to post? It is cool to post. Or she'll see something like, post that. And I'm like, you sure? Because I already know it's going to look like a thirst trap. And I don't. Somebody called me a hoochie the other day. And I'm just like, little do you know, my girl told me to post this. So, and no, they can't understand it. But when you have that level of trust, and when you know somebody is out for your good, like you said, that trusted circle or those trusted friends or that trusted partner, that's shit that you don't even really got to worry about.
I need to be in a relationship so somebody can monitor my post. Listen, because you know me, I got, all kind of videos and stuff from me at the gym, and I don't post the topless ones. So when I went on that boat party, you know what I'm saying, and I said,
hit you up too.
Oh,
you comfortable out here?
Got my nipples in the belly button on the internet. Listen,
that's how they get you.
Nutty professor body out here. Listen, I was like, am I posting this? Is this my? I'm like, you know what? So the conclusion I came to in my mind was like, remember who you post for, bro.
Yeah.
And my news feed is full of things that I want to remember. I've made it into my own personal album that on Sabbath I can go back and look at it and be like, I love that. I remember that day. You know what I'm saying? It's the memories for me, right? Whether I don't, and I think the people have been upset because I don't really respond to comments that people leave and whatnot, because I hardly go back and read them. Those are my moments, you know what I'm saying? But some days I'm like, let me go at least say thank you or whatever, like from the 4 people that do, you know what I'm saying? You better post them shirtless pics. Listen, nipples were not made for the intranet. Man, listen. Bruh. All right, you ready for the next one, dog?
Yeah, Titty Tuesday.
Titty Tuesdays. All right, you know what? This is gonna be interesting. We're gonna flip the script just a little bit here.
Is it when you put boys together, they just lose all composure and act like little children?
Right, good question, governor. It's a great question. I'll answer it for you. You see, the boys, when they get together, they've created this circle of trust. There's no judgments. There's just dumbassery and good times. You guys are in those little gossip circles talking about how Sarah fucked over Farrah, and somehow that means they don't like Clara. The drama. And the boys are going to be out in the field seeing how many rounds of 5.56 it takes to take down a tree. So while you're out there dropping friends because they said you're not pretty one time, the boys are going to be saying the most fucked up shit to one another. Yes! And still be best friends the next day. I knew a guy that blew off 4 fingers off his buddy. They're still best friends. Maybe we do turn into children. I'll give you that much. But the last time we were happy, we were children. So we want to feel that again. Resort back. Let's go. So in conclusion, we know that time with the boys is finite. They could be gone tomorrow. So we're not going to waste a day. Guy friends, they just stay friends. It's a beautiful thing. Merchants and bio. Let's go. I love.
Sheesh.
That ending, right? When they got real serious on you.
Yeah, wasn't expecting that.
Go ahead, man. I got some thoughts, but go first.
No, it's really, it comes down to what he just said, and I never thought about it from the standpoint of the last time you experienced that real happiness and just silliness and just letting yourself go and just being silly was probably when you were a kid. So when you get around your homeboys, it's like that same type of, just like when me and you go to the gym, it's ridiculous. It's shouting at each other from across the gym. It's it's crazy. And I know people are looking like, what's wrong with them? But it's just that when you're around somebody that you feel really sees you and knows you for who you are, and maybe has experienced life the way you've experienced it, and then you guys can still like genuinely smile, genuinely be happy, and genuinely be silly. Like it that's dope. Whether it's another man or another woman, but you know, that's just how it is with your real folks when it's coming to homeboys and stuff like that.
So I got so many thoughts in my head about this. I'm pulling from my life experience, right? And so I'm thinking about first all my female friends who have way more male friends than female friends, and they say this is why. He said, why does it have to be so much drama? So they have a lot of male friends because they feel like it's just easier and it's more fun. It's like, all right, I guess that could be true, but then I'm thinking about my life and how many tight circles of male friends that I've had and lost. And I was like, so when he was talking about the drama that's sometimes in the female circles, I was like, I've experienced that in the male circles.
Yeah, it goes both ways. Yeah,
and I've seen it fall apart. You know what I'm saying to you? And so I would love for the guy relationships to stay friends, the guy friends stay friends, but it has not been true in my experience, right? And so it sounds like a great idea. But another thing I recognize is that if it hasn't been true for me multiple times, the common denominator is me. So maybe I'm the problem.
Or maybe it's just a human characteristic that everybody, you're not just meant to stay friends with everybody throughout life, whether it's male or female. Everybody's here for whatever season they're supposed to be there for. Even me and you, we could be best of friends today, but nobody can see 2 years down the line. Now, I would hope it would be the same kind of vibe, but maybe not.
We don't know. And things change, people change, right? I was thinking about friends that I've had like since I was in high school and how I don't even like they were my nigga so close. We were family. Like, yo, this is my cousin, this is my brother. Yeah. Right. I had a hell of a revelation this week. And I said, I wonder, do I still need to become friends before I become brothers? Because in my mind, brothers sounds like a different kind of responsibility than friend.
You know how I feel about that. 1,000%.
And so I'm looking at it, and I had to go through the list of my brothers, and I had to ask myself, are they my friend, or are they just my brother? And I started thinking all the way back from high school. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, dude, like, it's almost like when you're in a romantic relationship and you guys somehow lose track of nourishing the friendship, it impacts the relationship as a whole. And it made me think like, dude, like maintaining a friendship in every relationship, even me and my mom, that's my mother, but she always tells like, if you wasn't my kids, you guys would definitely be my friends. And so me and my mom have an area of our relationship that's friendship that we nourish outside of being siblings, like that's my mom, outside of being business partners, a friendship as well. And I'm truly starting to see that more and more every day in my life as I get older, as a very strong foundation to have. And the moment you stop taking care of it, I don't care what else you've built, it has the potential to become very unstable.
It does. And then I think a lot of times some people hold on to the ideal of what this friendship or brotherhood once was, and so they try to hold on to these titles that honestly the title it no longer fits what you guys really are now.
And what I've experienced is that sometimes we go through things in life and it makes us a little bit more hard or more convinced that life has to be a certain way. And remember, we became friends on relatable things, not always agreeing on things, but we had some relatabilities. But if we stop being, the more we stop being relatable in certain areas, and it's like, then where is the relationship? You know what I'm saying? I think that we just like what do we do when we come together? What do we do when we're talking? What do we do? Like, it's almost like, I remember one of my friends said, like, when you need me, I'll be there. But outside of you needing me, what do we do? I don't really see where we need each other, except for when you need me. Something's going on, emergency. We got to pull up. We got to, you know what I'm saying? Or got to bury somebody or, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, dang, how did we get here? Because sometimes it is a neglected of friendship. And sometimes just that people are traveling down a different road. And one thing I did notice, and I look back to my brotherhoods, is that it's rare for me to have a brother that's really invested in what I'm going through in life and my perspective. Because I'm a giver and I'm generous, is usually, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I can depend on Dom for this, or I can, you know what I'm saying, it's like, or I know I can talk to him, or I can, you know, get this, but it's rare, you know what I'm saying, to have someone that's truly like knows how Don thinks and doesn't try to change it. Mm-hmm. Just like, oh yeah, that's just Don. That's how he is. You know what I'm saying? And I never want anybody to try to stay in my life who doesn't like how I do life, because it's going to show in it's going to show in the dynamics of how you interact with me, and how there's always a challenge, how there's always pushback. I'm not talking about the lack of accountability. I'm just talking about that we just become so damn different that we are just really tolerating each other.
Oof. Yeah, that's a bad spot to be in. Especially when one person feels that way, but the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
But to me, again, like we always say, that just goes back to communication, because this just didn't happen overnight. This is probably something that's been on your mind, or on his or her mind, or both your mind, and it's just going unspoken. Like, it's okay to say, why are we still friends, or what is keeping us as friends? That's okay to say.
It's not an attack.
It's not. It's a question. Like, legit.
How could you wonder that?
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
How could you wonder if we're still friends? Like, dang, I'm just all right.
Because I don't talk to you, and I don't even have a want to talk to you, or I don't think about you. You don't cross my mind. It's just like,
and the honesty of it, because you'll know a tree by the fruit that it bears. So either it's gonna show up and you're gonna see it. Let's talk about it. Because maybe it is repairable. Maybe it is fixable. Maybe there is, you know what I'm saying? And maybe it's not. But then again, living life with open hands makes friendship easier for everybody, makes relationship easier for everybody, because everybody has a life to live. Just because you acquired someone as a friend or a romantic partner or a spouse doesn't mean that their life mission now is to make sure that you're always happy.
Yeah.
They have
especially
a path.
If they have family.
Yeah.
Because their first priority then becomes the family.
Bro, I got it. You know what? No, I'm gonna play the video now after this question. So, Queen Lady T Paola. I don't know why I'm gonna make her Brazilian at some point.
That's
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah, I haven't messed nobody's name up in a long time on purpose. She said, I have a question. Why do people feel like when a woman has guy friends, they fucking? Because that's not truth. You know, I have a theory about that.
Go with your theory, and then I'll kind of chime in.
My theory is that usually people are the most insecure or the most affected by assumptions that they would probably do if they was in your shoes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying to you? Like, it's I think usually it is that idea that if that was me, this is what I would be doing. It's hard for them to see or consider or imagine you not having sex with your male friends, because it's hard for them to imagine them not having sex with their female friends if they had some. That's just a theory that I always ponder with.
Mine is similar. It's just them projecting themselves onto other people. Like, I could never do that. Yeah, you couldn't. So now you think that I can't, but I can.
I'm better than you. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. She said, I feel like once you label someone as a friend or a homeboy or homegirl, they need to keep it that way, because the moment they fuck, the whole relationship change, and I'm always wondering why it changed. I don't know.
Well, sex changes a lot anyway, just on its own. It can change the dynamic of a lot of things, unless both people are both people know this is it and it's all it's ever going to be.
You know, it makes me think though, when I read that post you put up there, and it says to keep it that way. Mm-hmm. In my mind, what I'm recognizing is that the only thing you can really keep is yourself and your emotions intact and your mental healthy. Like, you can't keep a situation. You can invest in it and do all that you can, but if you're in a relationship, it's what you bring and what they bring that determines the environment.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying to you? And so when you talked about earlier flowing with somebody or things being organic, how wonderful is it when it's not us trying to make this work, but that when we show up authentically as ourselves, the environment that's created is suitable for both of us.
Yeah.
And what I'm noticing is that in a lot of friendships and relationships, the environment is usually only suitable for one person, and the other person is just on reserve, just waiting to get a chance to talk about what they don't really like or don't feel. But the other person usually is a talker and takes up all the room in a relationship talking, or takes up a lot of room in a relationship with their emotions, or takes up a lot of room in a relationship with their needs. You know what I'm saying? I think that self-awareness, even if you are a needy person, and when I say needy, I'm talking about from the standpoint of recognizing like you may be going through something and you need a lot of support. Self-awareness says that, hey, I may not be the only one. Let me pause and see if that person is good or if they need something in this conversation versus, I'm about to get on the phone with my person so I can get what I need. Mm-hmm. Just understand that what was once a beautiful friendship now becomes more of a mentorship because the value being exchanged ain't equal, or it's not beneficial to both parties in the same way.
I agree. I like what Amber said. Amber said, I asked myself, if the individuals in your life never changed at all, would you choose them? I think that that's a good rule of thumb. I feel like that's a good rule of thumb. Like how you are right now. If this is the Donnie that I could expect from now until the day we leave this earth, would I still be okay with our brotherhood? No. I pray every day for change. Make him into a new person, God.
Wow. I feel like you practiced that line. I feel like you
with God. I did. Yeah. We go over
make him a better brother in Jesus' name. This nigga's off the wall.
No, but I feel like that's dope to really sit back and act like go through your list of people you really call friends, because I don't just call everybody friends. Donnie knows this, but the people that you do call friends, the people that you do call your circle or your brothers or your sisters, like make that list. Like if they never changed, am I cool with that? This girl that I know is talking behind my back. If she talked about behind my back for the rest of our lives, would I still consider her to be a friend? That's good, Amber.
What I've noticed about myself, the older I get and the more I search, the clearer and more precise my definition of friendship becomes. And then I recognize that some people got in when that definition was still blurry. Some people got in when I wasn't clear. Right. Some people got in a friendship with me, or I created a friendship with them when I was in a bad space. I was in a dark space. I was in a depression. I was going through a healing. And so my verification or requirements weren't the same as they are now. And so every now and then I got to revisit the roster and be like, all right, things have changed. And
that's crazy. The older I say this all the time, the older I get, the smaller that little circle. It's just
colonoscopy. Huh?
And 1000%, and I'm good with it. As a matter of fact, I need to call your lady this week.
That's why you don't want to get a colonic, because the older you get.
We're putting all the family business out.
Listen, there we go. So, Queen Lady T. Paola said, "Would you allow your woman to have guy friends and be okay with it?" I think off jump, I can't allow her to do nothing.
Great answer. Great answer.
I can allow myself to stay or leave if I don't like it, but I ain't trying to. If that's what you need to make sure that your life is full of purpose and satisfaction, then do you. Yeah. And if I can't roll with that, I'm not gonna change you. I'm changing me.
Unless you Janae and you dated every superstar that comes on the TV, then that's different.
I feel like a chancla is coming for your head. Just duck, nigga, duck. Listen, Terry said, I have a male best friend and his wife loved me until they got married. Now she has a problem with our relationship. I told him he took an oath before God, and if you have to lie to your wife about being around me, then I will be your friend from a distance. Yeesh. I respect that, Terry.
I was about to say that's great on your part, but that's
it is kind of like what happened. Like now that you're married, but even in that mystery, I think it shows her value. Like respect is top tier. Commitment, like you made an oath before God. So I'm not about to be on the consequence end of supporting something that I know I wouldn't want to happen if I was in a relationship.
Yep.
All right. All right, so I got something for you, Mike. Let me see if I can. You know what? Because we were talking about this, I'm gonna move in this direction.
I think we shouldn't take for granted how much the abandoning or the ignoring of friendships has affected romantic relationships, because people have now shifted all of the expectation, all of the support, all of the you know the love that they got from a community of friends, and they've moved it on to one person. And a lot of I think there's a few studies that have actually shown even having a friend where you can talk shit about your partner too, which is healthy, by the way.
Yeah.
Actually improves your chances of staying with your partner.
Oof, I'm having an insight here. This is thank you for being the truffle pig and uncovering this magical little insight that the same thing is happening at work is happening in our relationships. So it used to be where we sort of had bowling leagues and we got our community from there. Yes. We got our sense of belief from church. Work was the place we made our living. We had barbecues with our neighbors. And over time, those things have disappeared. And now we demand of our work that you be the place of purpose. You be the place of community. Yeah. You be the place of my social life. Now you be the place that matches my politics. We're putting all this pressure on work to fulfill every desire I have. And we're doing the exact same thing in our relationships, which is we seem to abandon those outside places, and we're asking of our partners to be everything all the time, always, which is an unreasonable and unfair standard to put on someone or be put on us.
I've never thought about it from the workplace as well, and that's why you're my favorite truffle pig. I know Anastasia has time to run, so I'll leave you with one thing that really, for me was perfectly apt for this conversation.
Eye opener.
Yeah.
You are my everything now. Hold on. It still takes a community, my nigga. Hold on. But so somebody telling you you're my everything sounds lovely. Like, yeah. But you now have every responsibility too. Everything.
Everything. Yeah. No thanks. I don't. No thanks. But I do feel like if people are okay with just them by themselves, I feel like you get a lot less of that type of, oh, you're my everything type of vibe when they get into a relationship, because I was okay with just me. So if I'm okay with just me, then I don't need you to be my everything, or I don't need to want you to be everything for me, because I've created my own happiness within myself. Now, if I don't have that, and now I'm trying to find that in this new relationship, then yeah, that's when you get your first glimpse of somebody telling you love them. That's why it gets toxic. And you didn't call me all day, and now I want to slip my wrist because I haven't heard from you. But had you been stable enough to be in a relationship in the beginning, we may not have been here.
It's good to take time to get to know people, see how they do life. What is your support system? I'm not saying you got to have a circle of 8 people. You know what I'm saying to you? Because some people don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? But what do you do? Like, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm dating you and I see that, you know what I'm saying, you go to, Bible studies, and then you have a softball league that you're a part of, and you're, close with your work friends. Sometimes you hang out with them after work. And I get into a relationship and I'm like demanding all your time. What I'm saying is that all those areas that used to pour into you, those specific things, I'm now going to take ownership of. I'm not sure if you want to do that, good sir.
Yeah. It's a lot.
You know what I'm saying to you? And I think that then it starts to just, our community and the people that we choose to be around, the jobs we work, mold us in a certain way. And I think that sometimes narcissistic behavior wants to isolate that person so that you can mold them specifically on your own, without any family, without any friends, without any coworkers. And I think that, it's something to be mindful of, because it can sound romantic on the surface. Yeah, and I think that this is a part of where some people have to break free from their family when they do get into relationships. They do get married, because the parent may have been used to being that person, you know what I'm saying, for their child, but now somebody's going to take over that specific responsibility. But you could still be the mom, you could still be the father, but you can't be the spouse.
Yeah, can't hold that position. Yeah, that's wild. And yeah, that what he said, like who was that just said? Kerry said, "Oh, good point about work-life balance," and that's also true. Like at the job that I work now, my regular 9 to 5, they have events and potlucks, and are you coming to this? And we're going to. No, Y'all are my coworkers. Y'all are not my friends. I don't want to hang out with y'all because as soon as I start hanging out, now you want to get into, you want to get into my personal life and my back. You don't need to know all of that.
Yeah, and it's tricky though because sometimes people feel like if they're in your life in one way, then that gives them access. That gives them access to the whole house.
Yes,
it's like nah. We work friends, we church friends. You know what I'm saying? like this, and I think it's not, and it's not a disrespectful thing, but it's also a thing of I need to verify people before I give them access because relationships equal influence, and so. Yep. Yeah, I need let me vet you before I let you into this space because you know maybe that's how you roll and maybe that works for you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I have some healing to do. Maybe I have some things that I value. You know what I'm saying to you? So I think so check this out. Because Niall said this. She said Trevor Noah is one of my heroes, but I can't agree with talking shit about your partner to others. How do you feel about that statement he said? Or statistics say that if you talk shit about your partner to others that it creates a greater chance for you to stay with your partner.
When I hear talk shit, for some reason, for me, I don't take it as negative. I'm not calling you talking about Janae's been acting like such a this and I can't stand her and I want to break up with her. I'm more thinking about like, man, this girl got on my nerve. You won't believe what she did today. Like some stuff that's a little bit more lighthearted, but stuff that maybe you my nigga, so and I know you may have been through it before. Or I know you know both of us, so you know what I mean. But nothing to make. I'm not like because I have done that in situations that Janae and I have got in. We both have certain people, you being one of them, that we've agreed that okay, if we got an issue in our relationship and we feel like we need to talk to other people, these are the people we both agree that we can go to because we know that they'll be unbiased and we know that they'll give us some sound advice if that's what's needed.
I'm not unbiased. I'm biased.
When is the last time I talked to you?
When the last time Jay talked to me? Ask that question.
Hey.
Real quick. Uno reverse, nigga. Mike keep hogging up the whole bed.
That's funny. But no, I feel like having somebody to talk to about your relationship outside of your relationship, I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that as long as, like I just said, this is a person that you know is a solid person, not somebody that's just here for the gossip, not somebody that's going to be a yes person and just always be on your side.
Listen, the person that took the vow with y'all at the ceremony.
1000%.
Bruh. Yeah. Carrie said exactly. Coworkers feel so bad when I kindly decline their after hours invitation. Come on. I'm with you 10 hours every day. We need a break.
Yeah.
I hang out with my coworkers after work. We have specific events. Now I will say this. My boss kind of leans into me being the connector of the team. So there are some events that I would not have gone to.
Had she not,
you know, encouraged it and then reminded me of my life purpose. I am a connector and it's crazy because I'm an introvert, but I do connect people. I do create an environment for people to, you know, form these kind of bonds. And so it's a tough thing, but you know, for me, I feel like calling trumps
any day of the week.
Yeah. Any day of the week. When I'm walking in my calling, somehow I end up always finding the capacity to do it. Yeah. All right. You see this one? So I'm going through this right now. I might not be in the subject right now, but I need answers. I've been talking to someone for a couple of months and I usually let him know my every move. But last night I failed to do that. And now he stopped answering my calls and texts, which it makes me feel like he's not the one. If this is how he acts, I don't know how men think, but I need to know what should I do at this point. I need an answer from a man. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me to have the floor on this one, sir. So I don't want to spend not the soapbox. I don't want to speak for all men, but some of the ones I know, including myself, to me, and then not even just for men in general, if you create a habit and a thing that you do often, all the time, especially from jump, then I'm gonna think that this is your normal way of doing life. Whether it's with me or in general, if I know that every time she drives home, she calls me at 10 p.m. and we talk on our way home, and she's been doing this for a month and it's cool. I know this is our routine. This is how we get down. And this one night she don't call me, it's going to raise alarms. You know what I mean? Not necessarily that, oh, she must be with another guy, but even, I'm kind of like worried, is she okay? Has she gotten into a car accident? Like, did somebody carjack her? And then I don't hear from her. So now it's like, then I hear from her the next day. It's like, hey, like nothing happened. Now I'm like, okay, are you not taking into any account that, I may have been worried, or I may have been concerned, or I may have been any of these things. Now, I think it's important to communicate that, not just to not respond to any texts or calls. Now's the time to have a conversation. Hey, it was, caught me off guard that you didn't answer your phone. I wasn't, trying to get in your business. I was, this is our normal thing. Like, what was up with that? So I feel like for me as a man, it would, some alarms may go off.
All right. So I'm going to answer as an alien. Looking through this whole message, I've been, oh shoot, where'd it go? I've been dating, or I've been talking to someone for a couple of months. This is still the getting to know. For me, a couple of months is not long enough for me to really identify patterns.
Okay.
And so for me, when I'm looking at this and I'm reading it, it's I usually let him know my every move, but last night I failed to do that, and now he stopped answering my calls, which makes me feel like I would think, like, how long has the calls have not been answered? Like, how long has it been? Because it's interesting, because I've been in a situation similar to this, that a person has gotten so deep in their feelings about me breaking routine and breaking patterns and not hearing from me, and they got all these emotions, and they get on the phone with me and they find out there was a tragedy in my family, and they're like, oh,
right.
So the only thing I really could say is to choose a healthy narrative. It's only been a couple of months you've known them, so I'm not sure how much data you have, but choose the narrative that's going to help you sleep at night. Optimism is a great tool to be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So many things can be going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand that all the things can be pointed towards, oh, the person is acting funny, but I would just wait to verify if that's the case. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So I would just reserve any strong emotions until we have that conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
But sound like my man didn't even want to have a conversation. He just kind of fell off like, cool, I ain't finna talk to you then.
Listen, and somebody might have been praying for you to get all the might have been an answered prayer. Why you
That's exactly what you needed to see to let this nigga go.
Listen, she said, he should have texted and checked on me if he was worried.
Look, if he got concerns, maybe.
Listen, life is fragile, man. I had a family member have a medical emergency yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And then me and my mom were talking. It was like, you never know. We think, you know what I'm saying? We got it sold up. We think my grandmother's 93. We worried about her any day now. And it wasn't her. It was a younger relative, right? And we're like, any day, life is fragile. So I do my best to try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? If it's been a few months, you know what I'm saying to you, just note it and wait for verification. But, keep moving as life is moving you.
Yeah. 1,000%.
But I'm not going to sit there and act like I'm a robot to where I can't relate that certain emotions are going to try to rise up. But, but that's why I have meditation every morning. That's why I try to do my breathing exercises to make sure that the narrative that man, this stuff comes up way more than I would like to admit in certain situations. So I almost expect it now. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I have friends that don't return the phone call, and I'm presented with all kind of stories. And I'm like, no, Don, relax. This is just like when relax. Because the first thing that happens, we have this thing called our personality filter. And so situations that come at us, the first thing we do is delete, distort, and generalize. Our personality filter does that. And then we take whatever's left of that situation after we've deleted, distorted, and generalized, and we compare it to a library of events we've gone through in life to try to give it meaning. Right? And so remember, you never had an emotion that existed outside of a meaning that you gave it. Mm-hmm. Every emotion you've ever had was dependent on you giving a certain meaning. So when you give things a certain meaning, that's where the emotion comes from. And so I try to I don't try to be delusional, but I do try to give a fair meaning. I don't just look at how it's affecting me. I look at all the possibilities that I can see and say, what's the healthiest meaning I can give this so that I can have the healthiest response, so that I can go on through my day and not, be angry walking around here about something that's still a mystery.
So when does logic come into play? For instance, if you know what this person's MO usually is, and it's happened on multiple occasions. At that point, when is it safe to say, oh, this is just like the other time? Or is it always that maybe it's something different and you getting your hopes up to get them let down?
Here we go. If you don't call me by 12 a.m. tonight, I'm done. Listen, there it is.
There it is.
Listen, give yourself a cutoff time.
Yep.
And that's it. And if you ever come back around, be like, yo, what happened? Like, oh, well, you know, I have this internal rule that if we're supposed to be talking and I don't hear from you for 3 days, then you forfeit it.
Well,
it's just an internal rule, because after a few months, it ain't your job to protect me. It's still mine to protect me. And this is something that I need. So now, you know, it's so much to say about that.
It is. I'm not even mad at it though. That like at her, if you don't, you gotta say, and that's a part of what we were just talking about as far as setting boundaries though.
She'll come back on next week's episode like, yeah, this nigga was in ICU and
damn.
Golly. That's why we heavy on the maybe. Heavy on the maybe this will help.
Ruin your whole relationship fucking with us. God. Jeez.
Listen.
How do we cancel maybe this will help? Keep putting together petition, getting it signed. Like,
oh goodness. Listen, that was the advice that creeped out. We told you all about. Be careful. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna make a move, man. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. You ready? Is Jay watching?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Nigga been out your life the last 10 years and you still holding on to something he got you 10 years ago.
It's not that deep. The thing that's pissing me, it's a necklace. The thing that's pissing me off is it's not clicking for you. If you don't like it, then replace it, because I like it, so I'm keeping it until I get something else.
For me, is you stuck on stupid and keeping something this man got you.
Get out of your feelings.
Don't worry about it. We getting rid of it. I don't care what you say.
Who getting rid of it?
We are.
You've lost your ever loving mind. At this point, you know what? We need to talk to somebody else, because whatever it is not clicking for you. And the fact that you stuck in this mindset, stuck on stupid.
We can ask somebody else. If you want, we can make a couple.
Say less. Ask another couple.
Not the Denzel laugh. You think you can do this to me?
Shoot program, nigga.
What you got, Mike?
We're gonna talk about the sweater. What we doing?
Ooh, let's keep it vague. Let's keep it vague.
Okay, all right.
Because you can't talk about the sweater, Mike, because you wore it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why would I be upset? Well, it's something. Oh, this it. Because at the end of the day, you with me now, and the sweater was nice, and it just happened to fit. I'm gonna wear it. It's my sweater now, but we can wear it.
It's ours.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
A necklace,
like the nigga said on the video, man. He said when you're in a relationship, the Y is silent.
There it is.
It's not yours. It's ours.
There it is. There it is. And here's my thing about the video, though. Like, so for me, if I had, let's say, let's do the chain that my ex gave me, and I explained to Janae, you know, it didn't have no sentimental value. It's just I like the chain. I'm sure, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, she would probably be like, "Oh, boy said," or like the girl said, "Oh, I'll just buy you a new one, and you could get." I don't have no problem with it. I get rid of it. It's just a chain. Like I said, if it really don't matter to me, if I really have no ties to it whatsoever, why am I so hell bent on keeping it? Especially if somebody's saying they're gonna replace it. Cool.
Let me tell you why. Let's open up this can of worms.
Please. I love it.
If we say, okay, I'm gonna buy another one, is that now the protocol for every time something shows up in your life that has sentimental value connected to someone they're uncomfortable with? Maybe there were some pictures, maybe there were some shoes, maybe there's some other memories. Like, now does that person now have a financial responsibility to replace everything that you inherited from someone that they're uncomfortable with still having value in your life?
Yeah, I feel like there should never be a responsibility. I feel like I said, I would never ask her to replace nothing. That, to me, The fact that she said, "Are you going to replace it?" is ludicrous. But me knowing Janae, she would probably offer that without me even having to say it.
Oh, they crossed the line when he said, "Oh, you stuck on stupid." I said, "Oh, when you're having these conversations and the stupid comes in," but I give them props because I can see the emotions escalated, but it did die down in a healthy way when you talk to another couple. That's a strategy that you learn in couples therapy. If for people who don't know, who've never been in it, it's a very strong strategy. Like, okay, this is what we call the emergency contact list, right? So I told you guys on plenty of episodes before, like when you get into a relationship, have an emergency contact list, like Mike just stated, people that you guys agree on to call when you guys are going through something, for some kind of counseling or some kind of sounding board. Not the ex who bought you the chain, though.
So, but see, then that makes me think of, okay, so what if it's, after me and my ex used to have sex, I used to put on this one oversized T-shirt that now I'm still wearing around the house that used to belong to him. Now, to me, that is directly tied to emotion, feeling, whatever the case may be. Cool. And for me, I may express to her, like, or even ask the question, like, is this an emotional tie? Does it make you think about every time y'all had sex? Like, what's behind this? Is it become a comfort blanket? Because I'm supposed to be a comfort blanket now.
I turn the same question back to you. What are you imagining?
But I'm trying not to. That's why I'm communicating. And before my mind allows me to go down this long road, I'm gonna bring it to her and let her tell me what it is. And if it's nothing, cool, keep it.
We're at the age now,
because the sweater's still in the room, quiet as kept.
It should be, in my opinion.
You don't have to clarify anything. This is my show.
Wow. Jay called me. I see it this way, bro. We're at the age now where we might be, well, not you, because you're spoken for, but I'm at the age now where I might be dating someone who's widowed, had a spouse, and they passed away and whatnot. And so does this conversation change if it's a widowed spouse that they still... Again, I think it goes back to, like, it wasn't a bad relationship. It just ended because of death. Like, do you still not try to take... No, you can't keep those memories from your first marriage.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
This is a serious question. You go into this widow's house, and on his, what used to be his side of the bed, he still got a pack of condoms. Are you going to use his condoms? They already been open.
I don't use them anyway. Ask me another question.
This nigga gonna be using all they old sex toys.
Listen, bro. Listen, I'm financially responsible. Listen, the wise thing to do. I ain't gonna rebuy something because somebody can't regulate their emotions. Listen, don't let me and that nigga wear the same size shoe. I promise you, I'm gonna have his J's on. Nigga, don't play.
Oh God,
she got a type, so I'm sure I could fit something. I'm leaving here with something. I'm telling you.
That's great. I got nothing to say. That's great. That's great. Oh, nutty professor.
Y'all be tripping on the dumb stuff, man. You be tripping on the dumb stuff, man. Just like let it go, bro. Like
1,000%.
Because I can do everything in my power to replace the jewelry, to replace the clothing, and all that kind of stuff. But I can't replace the memory. It still exists in your head.
It's still gonna go through your head every now and then.
You know what I'm saying, T? So listen.
So let me wear the sweater on the show.
Let me just.
In fact, I've been trying to find this clothing line because I'm a supporter. I believe in what he's doing out here.
Why does your person's ex have to be your enemy? That's wild.
Oh, that's good. That's a good legitimate question. Can you see what that was? That's a good legitimate question.
How many guns did she grab?
Probably just the one.
Can you go see what that was? I've been waiting for you to ask me. So they got a spinoff of the John Wick series, right?
Yes,
called Ballerina.
No, I don't know about I know about the one with the hotel, but not the.
It's called Ballerina, and it's from the John Wick universe or the John Wick world. It's a girl who wants to be like him. So tell Jay her mentor got a movie coming out.
That's funny.
But it's crazy though, because it's for real though. Going back to that point, why does your person's ex have to be your enemy? It's like it's innately built inside of us to hate that person, to dislike that person, to want to separate any memory and idea of that person from our person because they my person now.
Dang, this is tricky because so I was in a situation like that when I was married to Denham's mom. Her former husband, I hated him, couldn't stand him. If I saw him in the street, it was on site, no questions asked. But that's because of what she told me that wasn't true. So sometimes all you have to go by is what your person now has been telling you about your ex. So make sure whatever you telling your new person is the truth about your old person, because ain't no telling when they might meet. So me and him met, and we actually became friends. We was cool. I would take Denham over to see his brothers. Like
y'all was cool. Y'all trauma bonding.
High key, not even low key. High key. Yeah,
y'all was in the same support group.
Man, listen.
me no longer date island girl no more. Me not trust them.
Trust them. Yeah, man. But nah, it just, you know what I'm learning? The closer or the more years that pass and I'm in the relationship I'm in, you really can't sweat the small bullshit. And I feel like it's stuff that maybe I would have sweated when we first got together, but now it's just like even today we were going back and forth about something, and it's something that easily it could have kept going, but it was just like, okay, and then we moved on with the conversation. Like,
it's like, what are we doing? What are we investing in right now?
Right. It's just,
it's wild, man. Like, I think again, the more self-aware you are, the more you recognize life is precious, and I ain't going back and forth with you niggas
at all.
You know what I'm saying? If that's your person,
your spouse, your mama, anybody.
Yeah, stop trying to control people. Stop trying to control their stories. Stop trying to control their emotions. Stop trying to take control of their memories and their sentimentals, and let people be who they are. If you can't hang, and it's not for you, then bounce,
bruh.
Oh God, Gingy, don't be coming over here starting.
I saw it. I was like, "This troublemaker."
Don't be talking about us. Okay, so Paola, are you Brazilian? What's going on? Because I
think she's. I want to say Hawaiian. I could be wrong.
Queen Lady T Paola. Me no trust them.
Right, spot.
Any guy wear hair in the pineapple. Me no trust them. All right, man. So before we move on to the next video, let's just finalize this conversation about having things. Having what? Got my whole attention. Got my.
Golly. I don't know what you thought I said, but just read it. She saw my one.
I heard you.
Okay.
First thing I thought about. What, ankles. Mike? Come on, ankles. All right.
Jesus, help him, Lord.
So let's
reel it in. God, dog it. Reel it in.
Nutty Professor. So what I'm listen.
Oh God. Oh,
so what's the non-official should not be followed advice that we're giving people when it comes to having gifts and stuff that belongs to your ex?
Before you tell her to get rid of it, see if it fits. If it fits, we're gonna go ahead and go into that.
I love it. Hold on, you know what? There's a comment that Terry said, I think. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Here we go. Terry said, why does a person need to know where it came from? I have some earrings I love from an ex and I'm keeping them. Like, why do they need to know where it came from?
So in this situation, I think it was like, it's clearly too big for you and it's a little bit too small for me. Where you get this from? Not what nigga you had over. It was just where did it come from? I ain't never seen it before, and it's nice.
Earrings, shoes,
bracelet.
So why you over there giving my sister a hard time about this hoodie? Do you have anything in your inventory, Michael, from your previous marriage?
Well, you should have saw how fast this nigga looked over here at me. God,
he said, "Nigga,
I don't even want to look to the left right now."
Nigga said, "Nothing but a broken heart." I don't know what it is.
That's it. And drama shit. I don't know.
Nigga,
you have these therapy bills. Golly. Nah, but all the stuff that I've had was a lot of like clothing and stuff. Everything else, I think I either grew out of or just don't have no more.
Bruh,
I got cash in the receipts.
This is good. Question. What about the old wedding rings? Nigga.
Yeah, I was about to say I had mine when me and Janae first met, but I was trying to sell that thing. I had bills to pay.
Yo.
I don't think it's stuff like that's a. If I'm honestly speaking, I feel like that's a time in your life that clearly at one point was very important to you. So I don't think that it necessarily means like you're trying to hold on to the thought or the idea that you are married to this person. But like you said, some stuff are just memories that people want to keep. And me being quote unquote the new guy, who am I to come in here and tell you got to get rid of something that was important to you? No, I can't do that. I can't do it. It wouldn't even be right. I wouldn't ask her to do that.
So I and here's another perspective. So throw the whole thing away. I think for the sake of just like, man, like I don't want to let's just start fresh.
Good.
Some people that's
like we just gonna throw everything away and act like nothing ever happened before you.
Listen, bring it to me.
That's not even reality.
I'll take it. Let me tell you what my ex did. One of my exes. So me and her, we were friends before we got into a relationship, and then after we went our separate ways, we remained friends. All the stuff, all the Valentine stuff, pictures, clothing, everything that I just got her. She moved to a different state, and she packed it up and she said, "Here." So I didn't want to get rid of it. I'm not sure what to do with it, so she gave it to me.
The fuck I'm finna do with it? Give it to the next woman? I don't know. You said you like to save money, nigga. I don't know what you're doing with this stuff.
Yep. I say what you don't know won't hurt.
Well, it's new to you. You ain't never had it before.
Come on, listen. Recycle, reduce, reuse, man.
Yeah,
listen.
I get it, brother.
Listen, when you went to the pawn shop to get that engagement ring, you don't know where it had been.
You don't know.
Cut it out, man.
I got a new box off of Amazon. You don't know.
They playing games.
But I feel like this. Like when it comes to body counts, a lot of people ask, I can't take them back. So why does it matter? Just like it's still the memory in my head. I can't give it back. I can't say I didn't have sex with the person. It's already done. This chain that they gave me 30 years ago don't really make no never mind. I just like the chain. I can't give it back to the person. So just let them keep I don't know. It's just no big deal. Some stuff is no big deal.
Mike, what direction should we go, bro? Because I got a whole bunch of different videos on here. Because nothing on the same topic. That was a good topic, but I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
You know what? How about this? I got something for you. Let's try this one on.
I don't believe unconditional love is realistic. And I don't think that we should want it to be. Like, really unpack that. I would never want someone thinking they can do, say, or treat me however they please simply because they think my love is unconditional, or they think because I'm not going anywhere. I think that we need to normalize being aware that we're not entitled to anybody. I need to treat you correctly. I need to wake up every day and apply myself. I need to put effort into what we have because I understand that if I don't, I run the risk of you being unhappy with me. And I also need to accept the harsh reality that people do have limits to what they can and can't handle. People can run out of patience because we're all human. I think that mentality is more conducive to healthy connections, whether it's romantic or familial. Realizing that we have to actually treat people well, because if we get comfortable not doing so, they could leave us and be well within their right doing so. So I know it sounds good. I know it feels good to hear. But what position are you putting yourself in if you tell someone, I love you unconditionally? Really sit and think about that. And think about all the times you did put someone before yourself unconditionally, and look at where it got you. I don't.
Okay, before we dig into that.
All right.
Paula said, now I just got the call back twice and I'm ignoring it because I'm watching y'all. He might get a call back on my time now. Listen, let me tell you, this brother been watching our show for the last 3 months.
Yeah, that's you already know.
All right, go for it, bro. Unconditional love.
So I just want to read the definition of unconditional first. Unconditional means something is absolute, complete, and not limited by any conditions or reservations. So I'm I'm 1,000% in agreement. Agreement.
I work with both of them. All good.
Cool. Of what this brother said. Like, I feel like when people say that, they're not really, like he said, unpacking and taking into account what that really means. Unconditional means I'm saying I'll love you unconditionally, but then you murder my mama, slap my kid, and do all this stuff, and I'm saying I still love you. Like you people got to really like go there to really understand, and stuff that's way darker than that and way worse than that. That you're saying that no matter what happens, I'ma love you, no matter what.
You ain't got to go that far. You ain't got to go nowhere near that far. Listen, you don't text me back, and it's been 3 days. my love has changed. It's a garden. You don't water it for 3 days.
That shit don't die.
And this is the crazy thing about it. Even in my logical mind, if I don't want it to change, it's going to change because whatever you acquire requires maintenance.
You have to maintain it. You have to maintain it. So yeah. I feel like nobody has ever been given that mandate to love unconditionally but God.
Hold on. How about this though? She said, I only say that to my kids. Is there anything Denim could... God dog it.
Nah, I'm fucking with you. So that's so weird. So peep this.
Listen, I'm about to call Denim right now. I'm about to call... Tell him your dad said on the air. The same place he had his nipples and navel out. That conditions to him loving
you. His likes unconditionally, but not your own son. Nah, I think for me, that would be probably my children to where I could honestly say like an unconditional type of thing. And even with that, I would have to sit with it and really even unpack that when it comes to children. It's easy to say now because I know how I feel about them. I know the things I would do for him and the lengths I go for him, but I would even still have to unpack that. But I feel like in my heart right now, hearing it sounds like, yeah, that's probably one person that I could honestly say that about.
The fair thing to do is because you defined unconditional. You got to define love.
Mm-hmm. Are we doing missionary?
I think I don't trust none of them. Is love what I do for you or what I think in my heart towards you? Let's just start with that.
An intense feeling of deep affection, a great interest and pleasure in something. So all of this looking like it's a feeling. So I'm going to have this feeling for you no matter what you do, say, don't say. I'm always going to have this feeling for you unconditionally.
So, okay. So then what you think about this? Then Genji said, you can love somebody. Hold up. You can love somebody unconditionally. And it doesn't mean that you tolerate abuse or boundaries that God set in place for you. I can still love you unconditionally and leave you. Can you love them and leave them?
Unconditionally. Read it again. You can love somebody.
That last part? Yeah.
No, the whole thing.
Okay. You can love somebody unconditionally, and it doesn't mean that you tolerate abuse or boundaries that God set in place for you. I can still love you unconditionally and leave you.
How can you love somebody unconditionally that abuses you, though? How can you love your... What's that syndrome called when they start to fall in love with their abuser?
With their abuser, yeah. There's
that's not Munchausen. It's but yeah.
So they have it also in the fight and flight and friend.
Fight or flight, yeah.
It's in there too.
Yeah.
And fight, flight, friend, freeze, all of them. Go ahead.
Stop, drop, roll. Yeah.
Get your eagle on.
So yeah, I just don't know if, and I'm not saying Genji is wrong, but I just don't see.
Is she right?
I'm not saying that she's wrong.
You're not saying she's right.
I'm not
now.
Hello.
Hello.
Boundaries being broken.
Oh, hold on. It's called Stockholm syndrome. I got
Stockholm. That's what it is.
She'd have memorized that whole DSM. That's one of my friends who she know that thing by heart. Gracias.
Most gracious. Genji said boundaries being broken. I'm talking in the context of if you fell in love before this person started abusing you. Man, I think I think that fall in love shit is overrated.
I fell out, and I'm not putting it back in. I tell you,
if I fall in, I can definitely fall out.
Listen, because it wasn't
about abuse.
It wasn't in my control if I fell in. Like,
right,
I accidentally loved you and accidentally stopped. Can't tell you. Oops. I think it comes down to, we have this discussion about unconditional love, but it's so many different definitions of love out there. So what are we really saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a comment. It says, within the context of the video, unconditional does not equal unconditional tolerance. Oof. It gets sticky.
So okay. So I still love you unconditionally.
But I'm not going to tolerate this behavior. But if you're not going to take the love away, then you saying you're not going to tolerate it sounds like a threat that you're not going to follow through on.
You're taking yourself out of the equation, but keeping the love in the equation. If I leave, that means my love come with me. I can't leave it here and then go somewhere else.
Well, you did. You still love your ex-wife.
I never said I loved her unconditionally, though.
That is true. That is true. That is very true. Not even at the ceremony?
No.
His brother said, listen, don't mess this up. Those are my wedding vows.
That's it.
Listen, don't mess this up. I think a lot of people, they're looking for a place again, and I'm not gonna say everybody, but they're looking for a place where there is no accountability and nothing's required of them. They just they want to be able to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and it not change the environment. And this goes back to what we said earlier in the podcast. Sometimes it's not the person intentionally changing, but you brought a different dynamic to the relationship that's out of their control.
Mm-hmm.
When you understand that the environment's going to look like how both you guys take care of it, if you change and do something different, it changes the environment. Don't blame that person. You stop contributing, or you brought something foreign in, and now it's in the room. If we sleep in the same bed and you pass gas under the, listen, now I'm gonna have to make a decision. I'm gonna have to make a decision.
I'll see you in the morning.
Listen, that's cold feet to the back pushing you out one way or the other. Like, so I think that, how important is it for you to have somebody on this earth that loves you unconditionally, another human? Is that important to you?
Nah. I think for me, it's God. That's it. Because I know I've done stuff and probably gonna do stuff in the future that somebody is gonna feel is fucked up. Because just like with your kids, when they're young, they look at you as God, because that's the only thing that they know. Oh, my daddy is big as earth. But the first time your kid sees you do something wrong, it's like, oh my God, you're not perfect. Okay, I still love you, but you're not what I thought you were. And then when they get even older, oh, I'm a man and you a man. What's popping?
Let's see. And I like what you just said, because it makes me think, like, did you ever really love me, or did you love your idea of me? Because if you said you loved me and never took into consideration my humanity, and now I've done a human thing and you're saying you don't love me no more, maybe it was never me that you really loved. Was that from Law and Order?
Yeah.
Doom, 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 doom.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. SVU.
Yeah, that's my shit.
Hey. But that was Ice-T, right? With his
Yes, sir. Tutuola.
All right.
Tutuola.
Focus.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question before I go to this chat. Do you love yourself unconditionally?
No.
Well,
gotta be honest, right? Gotta be honest. It's things that I still work on. Like I said, therapy and just get into the place where I can actually say I love myself, period, is a big step for me. So we haven't gotten to the unconditionally yet. Because I feel like, I feel like it's hard to love anything unconditionally if there's still unforgiveness. If I still have things that I hold myself that I haven't forgiven myself for, how can I then love myself unconditionally and I haven't forgiven myself?
Man, I'm wondering what these conditions are, though. Like, what is the if this happens, I'm going to do this? Is it that I'm taking my love away, or I'm altering your access to me? Or because it doesn't necessarily mean unlimited access, unconditional love. Are they the same thing? When people saying I'm gonna love you from over here, I'm just going to move to a more appropriate place to where I can still be in contact with you and still not be denying myself what I need, or still love.
That's a condition, so that can't be unconditional.
Yeah. All right, there it is. So let's see if Jid can bring some. Mother Earth says, when someone no longer loves you unconditionally, it can feel painful and confusing, especially if that bond was once strong. It may happen for various reasons: emotional distance, unmet expectations, changes in life circumstances, or unresolved conflicts. When this happens, it can lead to feeling of loss, rejection, or a sense of betrayal. However, it's essential to recognize that love, especially in human relationships, is complex and can evolve over time. People may go through phases, and she's still writing, so I'm gonna get to the rest of that. But I just want to say, it's good on the first date to make sure someone knows how to read. So if you just saw what I did there, let that be your first requirement. They can read. It's just good. It's fundamental.
It is.
Go ahead, bro.
1,000%. No, that's yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I just feel like it's so much to. How do you get to a place to where, again, unmet expectations, changes in life circumstances, unresolved conflicts? How do you get into a whole marriage and haven't taken time to consider at least a vast majority of the possibilities that could happen in this marriage? I think that sometimes you do that when you're in premarital counseling, or sometimes people only consider the ideal version of what they want, and they don't even prep themselves for anything that's not even remotely close to what they're looking for. And so it's easier for them to have more conditions that will take them out of that marriage.
Can I ask a question? Because it just hit me. So CeeLo said, but it doesn't mean you tolerate nonsense. Then that's a condition. That's not unconditional. If your condition is, I won't tolerate no bullshit, I won't tolerate XYZ, then that's a condition in itself. Unconditional means there are no conditions. There is no ceiling. There's nothing that I can hit my head up on because there's no condition.
The definition said no limits. I love that you called her CeeLo though. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the homie. I'm pulling the Donnie. Is that not okay?
You are. Carla, it wasn't me. It wasn't me this time.
CeeLo, I'll talk to you later about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm asking you these questions while I'm considering it for myself. Do I love myself unconditionally?
Because look, if I can say, I'm sorry, I didn't even cut you off, but
honesty.
If it came off rude, I'm not even sorry. Okay,
exactly. Dirtbag, we know.
Come on,
listen.
Come on, let me be me. Let me
listen.
Cook.
I never expected better of you.
My God,
come on, listen, live your life.
See, this is why this works. 1,000%.
Exactly. I know who you are.
I know your character. I know the type of man you are.
Reckless nigga. Go ahead.
No, but like if you can say a but after I love you unconditionally, but then it's already not unconditional. I love you unconditionally, but I won't put up with. It's not unconditional. I love you unconditionally, but if you, then it's not unconditional.
Check this out. To love someone unconditionally can't be based on behavior or action. It has to be a love of that person as a being, period. Because behaviors have consequences. That doesn't mean the love must be removed, just as in parenting. And so what I'm pulling from that is, are we maybe considering that when I say I love you, is saying that I'm committed to investing in the betterment of you, regardless of what you do. That in that space, that opens me up to, again, not unconditional love, but it's just love in general, saying like, I may have to do that from over here or where I'm safe. But when I say I love you, it's not because of what you do for me, but because of what I'm committed to do for you.
I agree with that 1,000%. Just not on the unconditional part, but on the love part, 1,000%. That's actual factuals.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on. in biblical context, God loves us unconditionally. However, because he loves us unconditionally, he chastises us when we go astray. Does it mean he has conditions?
Wait, say it again.
It said God loves us unconditionally. However, because he loves us unconditionally, he chastises us when we go astray. Bible says he chastises those that he loves. Does it mean that he has conditions?
No, I don't think that has anything to do with conditions. I think that's a cause and effect. Like this is the rules that I've set forth, and then this is the consequence if these rules are broken. But there's no but. That's not a I love you, but.
So going back to the statement that Gingy made, so me moving myself out of the equation to a safe space is still love. It's still unconditional love. If that's the definition, if that's the reference we're using.
No. Gingy said, but I'm not going to take X, Y, Z, because you're removing yourself because you felt, I disrespected you, or you felt that I did all of these other things to you, so you feel like you gotta bounce. That's a condition. It's a condition.
No, I'm not arguing that at all. So this is what Queen Lady said. She said, "I think only God can love unconditionally,"
and that's how I feel.
I'm straddling that line too. Like I could probably do it for a week. I mean, being honest within myself.
1 week a month.
Don't put all that on me.
You thought about it.
Listen.
No. This is a good conversation. Damn.
Gingy said we were called to be just like him, speaking from a place of Christianity. I sent a post to my friends. I sent a post to my friends this week, and it said that God loves you, and I'm trying. And Gingy said that one. That's you, 100%.
1,000%. We were called to be just like him, but he also knows that that'll never happen because of sin being let into the world and all this other stuff that happened. So God is not expecting anybody that's on this earth to be perfect ever.
So if he's not expecting anybody to be perfect, does that also mean that everybody is perfect just how they are? They're just not perfect like him.
I think it's more of a progressing thing as opposed to a perfect thing. Like we're always seeking to move towards that mark, and we're shooting for that mark. But at the end of the day, it's an impossible goal.
I'm not shooting for no more impossible goals in my life. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Nigga, 500 is enough. I heard that.
Except me.
500 is your limit.
Listen, and credit score. Listen, I rebuke that in Jesus' name. Listen,
these niggas, boy.
It's okay. Please. This is a good one because we get in the comments. So we give ourselves grace for our mess ups all the time. So you do actually love yourself unconditionally. You may feel guilty about the things you do and not like them, but your love of yourself is what allows you to continue on. So just saying, I don't give up on myself. So I guess I do love myself unconditionally. Not
based on what somebody else just told you did?
Yeah.
Not how you actually feel?
Why not?
Fuck it. What else are we doing today? What else are we doing today?
Maybe this will help. Listen, I made zero promises coming on this show tonight.
Hey, man. Yep. I love it.
You know what? Let's do this then. I'm going to move in the same direction. I think it's the same dude.
There are a lot of people that don't know the difference between a red flag and a weakness. Not everything that you don't like about somebody is a red flag. If I meet you and I say, listen, baby, when I get upset or something bothers me, I tend to shut down. I don't talk much. And that's with everybody, including you. But I'm working on it. That's not a red flag. If you call something out that I'm doing, and despite some resistance, I come to a place eventually where I'm like, you know what? That wasn't my intention. My bad. I'll work on that. That's not a red flag. That's a weakness that I'm acknowledging, and I'm reassuring you that, yeah, this is a problem, but it will improve. But a red flag is if I know how problematic something is, and I'll go to any extreme measure to protect or deflect from what I don't want to address. And I find every way possible to make you the bad guy for calling me out. That's a red flag. The red flag isn't us having weaknesses. We all have those. The red flag comes from us being comfortable in our weakness and protecting that weakness by gaslighting, misdirection, or attempting to make you feel crazy about calling out something just because I don't want to acknowledge it or change my ways. So listen, stop confusing that with weaknesses. They're two different things, two very different things. Not everything that you don't like is a red flag. There are.
So listen.
We know that face. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pre-warn you. After 10 o'clock, mic changes. I'm going to tell you right now. It's 10:01.
So listen, I get it. You got the you know, the ASMR mic and the fire ass burgundy jacket and the little chain and everything you saying sounds good. But at the end of the day, if I see something as a red flag, it doesn't matter if you think it's a red flag or not. It's my red flag. So who is anybody else to say it's not a red flag? It's just I'm working on it. Cool. It's still a red flag for me. It's something that I'm not going to tolerate. If I miss out, I miss out. But I'm not going to allow myself to go down a path that I feel like may be detrimental to me in any kind of way, because you sitting here telling me I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Don't worry. Nah, that's a red flag.
So we've done this before. So Queen Lady Paola is joining the show. I've defined red flag. Tell them unconditionally, nigga.
I love you unconditionally, and you only, my nigga.
There it is. So, as I was saying, I gave a definition of a red flag. I think it was season 3. And so my definition of red flag is to have a psychological allergy to a person's behavior. And so I don't think it's something that you can control. It's something that triggers you in a certain way that now deems this environment unsafe for me, right? You know what I'm saying? With me, it's peanuts, right? If there's peanuts in something, or I taste like I have a reaction that I'm not choosing to have. So I think a red flag is the same thing. That's why I don't say a person is a bad person just because their behavior, I'm allergic to their behavior. You know what I'm saying? So I'm careful about that. So I'm kind of agreeing with you. I just want to hear a little bit more about, do you think they're different?
I do think they're different. 1000%. I think they're different, but I also think, yes. So to answer your question flat out, yes, I do believe that they're different. I just don't believe the section where he said, you know, basically, for instance, Janae's coming to me and telling me, you know, the when you do XYZ, that's a red flag for me. And I'm telling her, no, it's not a red flag. It's this. I can't tell her that. For her, in her mind, that's her red flag. I can't take that away from her. That's your red flag. I get it. I can acknowledge it. Even if I say I'm going to work on it, whatever the case may be, that's cool. But for her, it's still a red flag. Even if it's a trigger from something in the past, it's still a red flag for her.
And this is why I like to parallel it next to an allergy, because you can reverse your allergies, right? Through micro dosing. You know what I'm saying to you? Right. Yes. I have a peanut allergy. If I put peanut oil on my feet every night, put on some socks, I can actually build a certain kind of immunity against that, and my body can start to embrace it. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, well, like she said, I think everyone has their own red flag. I don't know how I feel about that statement. You know, not that I have to feel any type of way about it, but I think that, again, a red flag is not something that we walk around with, because I'm just doing me. The red flag is how it affects you.
Right.
I'm not a walking red flag. Somebody could love everything that I do.
That's
so you can't label me as a red flag. It just doesn't work for you. It's your allergy.
That's right.
Why are you mad at the peanut, nigga? The peanut ain't done nothing to you. It just don't work for you.
Yep.
Somebody out there throwing them back.
Exactly. And that's why we have a choice. Cool. It's a red. Cool. Somebody else likes this. Yeah. Likes when I do XYZ or appreciates that I do XYZ. For you, it's a red flag. That don't mean you wrong. That don't mean I'm wrong.
And I don't need to shut down the peanut industry, right?
1000%.
So listen, so let me tell you this.
All them niggas.
Damn. Nigga went Black History on me. Wow. Yeah. Nigga, he was out to kill me. He had my death in mind when he invented peanuts.
Assassin ass nigga.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. If I meet someone and I notice their behavior is a problem for me, I have some choices that I can make, right? Mm-hmm. Because I may need that person in my life, but have a serious problem with something that they do, recognizing that they're not the problem. It's how I'm able to or unable to engage with that part of them, right? So when I go to a nutritionist and I'm talking about, man, trying to get more lean and burn fat, first thing they say, trail mix, get some peanuts, get some almonds, do that thing. And I'm like, they're like, that's what all the bodybuilders do. And I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And they was like, you're going to have to figure something out because that's what you need in order to get the results you want. And so while we're sometimes yelling, this is a red flag, da 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 da, that full responsibility of changing that may be on you. Because it doesn't mean a red flag doesn't mean that person's toxic.
Come on, man.
This is something that you're struggling with about this person's behavior. So again, now I don't want us to just totally dismiss toxic behavior.
I do.
I just and ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. That is a wrap.
That's terrible. Continue, sir.
Listen, Carrie said red flags versus weaknesses, conditional versus unconditional, allergies and microdosing.
Dang, there's so much to think about.
Listen.
Jeez.
Oh God, man. Listen. Man. I think we're gonna get out of here. It's 10:07. You know, I want to give the audience this as we leave, because we do close with we like to close on a mental health note. And so this is video associated with the mental health note for tonight. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Nope, that ain't it. Here it is right here. So I'm gonna play this video and then we're gonna do unless you got something else you want to say, Mike.
Nah, Queen Lady T almost likes you.
Almost. I can't wait to use that line.
Almost, golly.
Oh my goodness, that's unconditional liking. Like, how do you? I condition, nigga. Okay. So, on that note,
yes.
God has been so good. Good, just ain't good enough. He's been better than good to me. God is.
Were you able to read it?
Nah.
Nobody can trigger your emotions without your permission. Learn to be calm and centered.
God has been so good. Good, just ain't good enough. He's been better than good to me.
That's good.
So the reason I put that up, because I feel like it ties into other parts of our conversation tonight, to where we do often, maybe programmed this way, try to pass the buck of our mental health to the communities and the people that are around us, instead of taking radical responsibility for our own regulation and for our own narratives and for the watering of our own garden, our own mental headspace, right? Because what's happening around you only gets in you through your permission. And so, as we've been talking about in the show tonight, you know what I'm saying to you, at the end of every podcast, what we like to do is offer a mental health resource, and that is 988. If you're going through a personal crisis, no matter what it is, suicidal thoughts, any kind of depression, you're thinking about self-hurting, self-harming, if you're just trying to figure out why this person doesn't like you or why you can't get over this situation, you're having struggles with a sibling, you and your mom ain't getting along, something like that, you can reach out to this number, 988. You can get connected to a support group, a therapist, and other little practical resources on how to deal with whatever that crisis is. Never think that your situation isn't a crisis. If it's uncomfortable for you, reach out for help. You don't have to do it alone. We've had multiple people who watch this podcast. Tap into this number. You can call it from your phone. You can go online, put in 988. You can chat with someone live. They follow up with you. They get you connected to the resources. Maybe we said something tonight that got you in a headspace starting to think about something that, we're not available throughout the week to talk about these things with you, but they are. 988 is a number that you can call. And I love to say this part, man. If you know somebody who's going through something, call that number to see how you can best help them, because just because you care doesn't mean you know how to care. Just because you care doesn't mean you know what to do. Sometimes care comes off as added pressure to a situation that somebody's already struggling with. So 988 is a number you can call to get some help and support, and whatever your personal crisis may be. Got anything you want to add to that, Mike?
Nah, that's pretty much it. I'm glad that we got to the show. Nobody cried, so that's a plus.
from laughter, maybe.
Yeah, that's about it. So,
oh God, I can't wait to make a video tonight.
Oh Lord,
listen,
it's gonna be wild.
Oh, this gonna be good. We posting that. Who praying out tonight? You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
For sure. Go for it.
Oh man, Father, we thank you for bringing us together again tonight for another great podcast, Lord. We just want to thank you for your unconditional love that you show us on a daily basis, Lord. And we thank you that as we go into this week, that you continue to show us that love, that mercy, that kindness, that grace, Lord, whether we're going to work, school, show our kids as well, Lord, and just continue to guide us in the things that we need to be doing. Keep us on the right path. Keep us geared towards you, Lord. Anybody that's down where those hurricanes are, Lord, we thank you for provisions. We thank you for safety. We thank you for shelter, for you to provide miraculously the things that those people in need actually do need, Lord. And we just thank you and praise you for all the things you're doing for us and our families, both seen and unseen. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure you share this on your social media platforms so people can watch it throughout the week. And God said the same. We'll see you all next week.
2 Chainz.